Hello everyone and welcome to Sharp Dress Gaming, and today we are here with a draft analysis from the Pokemon Global League, which is a new league that we are in. This is Season 3 of the Pokemon Global League, but our first season in this league. We are the Minnesota Wild Charge once again in this league, and we have just finished the draft a few days ago, so we're going to have a draft analysis of the Pokemon that we picked for our team for this season. Now, in this league, Pokemon were split up into different tiers. There was the S tier, which is the highest of all the tiers, including some of the Pokemon that are currently in Smogon Ubers, that are the lower end of Ubers, and then also the higher end of the OU tier for Smogon. Then from there, it proceeded downwards into A rank, B rank, C, and D. And then also Mega Evolutions had their own rankings of Mega A, Mega B, Mega C, and Mega D. Now, some Mega Evolutions were included in the S rank, and that is actually where we're going to start today, because for each rank, you had to choose at least one Pokemon, and then you had 500 points to spend on Pokemon from there. But you could only choose one S tier Pokemon, and if that Pokemon was not a Mega Evolution, you only got one Mega Evolution pick. We did end up picking a Mega as our S tier, so we do get two Megas. But our first pick was that S tier, and it was Mega Mawile. Now, I don't have my Mega Mawile over here, our co-coach, as you would. It's over there. I forgot to pick it up. But we do have Mega Mawile as our first pick. I just couldn't bypass Mega Mawile. There's so many tantalizing picks in the S tier, of course. There's like Aegislash, Speed Boost, Blaziken, but it did not have Baton Pass. That is a stipulation on the Blaziken to kind of keep it from breaking the rest of the team. There's also Black Kyurem, Mega Metagross, which we've used before in draft format, but I just decided I needed to go with Mega Mawile. Mega Mawile is my baby, and I love her. And of course, for good reason. Other than, of course, its beautiful design, Mega Mawile has a huge attack stat because of its ability, Huge Power. The attack stat is normally 105, but because of Huge Power, it gets doubled to be 210, I believe is how that works out. I'm probably not entirely sure. But that's just the base attack. Of course, you still can invest 252 EVs in attack and 31 IVs. And it gets, because of the Huge Power ability, it does have the strongest attack of any Pokemon in the game. So, that's nothing to scoff at. A Mega Mawile does also have fairly decent defenses, with 125 defense and 95 special defense. And as you can see, it is lacking in HP and speed because of that. But Mega Mawile is our first pick, and essentially that's why I started building the team around from there. Mega Mawile, its main moves are going to be Iron Head and Play Rough for both stabs. Also can have Sucker Punch, Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, Ice Fang, I believe it also gets. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Substitute Dynamic Punch has been a set before, and that I never got to try out that set in singles. I really want to. We'll see if we get the chance to do that or not. I just haven't been able to use Mega Mawile in singles for quite a while, and I want to. So that's why we ended up picking Mega Mawile. Normal Mawile also has the ability Intimidate, so we can use that Intimidate to our advantage, plus its high defenses to make Mawile be able to have some longevity in the game. Now, looking at Mega Mawile, I decided I need something that was going to resist fire and something that's going to resist ground. Mega Mawile's only two weaknesses. Now, I decided to get ground out of the way right away by picking up Landorus-Therian form, who was still around in round 2, so I was like, let's pick him up. A lot of people went S rank right away, and Landorus-Therian was in A rank, so I ended up, and we did a snake format where you start at the front of the draft and you go down, and then you go from the bottom back up. And since we're towards the bottom, we had a fairly early pick in round 2, so I did pick up Landorus-Therian form. Landorus-Therian gets us the ground type immunity because of its flying typing, and its ability of Intimidate as well also can lower the attack stat of a lot of Pokemon. I've wanted to say a lot of Pokemon and then I backtrack, but a lot of Pokemon technically is true because Pokemon with Clear Body or Hyper Cutter would stop that Intimidate. But We got the ground immunity, and also we have big earthquakes to hit with that 145 attack stat. Its special attack also isn't terrible, so if we feel there's too many physically defensive Pokemon, we can run specially attacking Landorus. Not that you see that very often, but I've seen it used once or twice. Hidden Power Ice is also a big thing in VGC for a while, so it's not unheard of for special attacking Landorus. We can also run Stealth Rock, Focus Sash Lead Landorus, or Bulky Landorus, or just straight up physical, hit him where it counts Landorus. And we'll see what we end up going with the most. Our next pick, I wanted that fire resist, so I picked up my girl Milotic, my favorite Pokemon to have in draft format. I've had it in every draft so far, and we picked it up for our third pick in this draft. Unfortunately, I will say this now, we did not get Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr is also a Pokemon we've had in every draft. I decided not to go with Conkeldurr this time, just because I wanted to try out some different things. But Milotic, I just could not stray from. Oh, Milotic, of course, we could go with our signature Rest Sleep Talk Milotic, or just typical bulky Recover Milotic. We can also run Icy Wind for speed control, Mirror Coat, Milotic to bounce back some of those Thunderbolts from Pokemon that we're able to take. And we could also go Choice Scarf Milotic. Why not throw a VGC format set in there as well to try and throw off our opponents? We'll see what we end up doing with Milotic. It's not as versatile as some other Pokemon, but it's got its tricks up its sleeve. With the ability Marvel Scale, we can increase our defense with status conditions, and we can also use competitive to our advantage if there's a lot of intimidators, maybe Sticky Web or Defog, all that kind of stuff. We can use to increase our special attack stat by 2 stages. Milotic also gets access to Cute Charm. I don't see us using that at all, but who knows? It's not out of the question. Our next pick, I needed another bulky Pokemon because if you guys are familiar with our Delta Battle League team, our team isn't super bulky there, and I have problems switching Pokemon in sometimes because I got a lot of just attackers. I wanted a lot of straight out attackers with that team. So I wanted more bulk in this draft. And this next pick actually probably made us the most hated team in the league because, for those of you who don't know, this Pokemon is annoyingly difficult to take down sometimes, and that's exactly why I picked it, and it is Cresselia. Now, Cresselia, if you take a look at the stats right next to the sprite there, HP is 120, defense is 120, special defense is 130. So, Cresselia, if you're going to have to bring something specific for it to take it down, and that's what the draft format's all about. So I am not, I don't feel guilty for picking it up at all. Honestly, when I was looking at Cresselia, I was like, I want to use Trick Room. Now, as you see, as we go throughout the draft, we didn't go for Trick Room, but it's always there if we want to. So we can go Trick Room or Icy Wind as well for speed control. Thunder Wave is also an option with Cresselia. We can also go Calm Mind Cresselia. It's got the what's it called? Reliable Recovery with Moonlight. It also gets Lunar Dance. So Cresselia is going to be our big support Pokemon. It can also be used as a sweeper with Calm Mind. You never know. We'll see what ends up happening with Cresselia. But it also has Levitate to give us another ground type immunity. So hopefully these ground types just decide not to show up because we actually have a lot more immunities and resistances to ground typing throughout our draft. So hopefully we can just keep ground types away. Our next pick I was looking for an electric type. And I had 3 options at this point that I was looking at. Thundurus Therian, Raikou, or Raikou, however you want to pronounce it, and Thundurus Incarnate. Now, all of them, of course, have their draws to them. Raikou is really fast and has a really good special defense stat, whereas Thundurus Therian has a very strong special attack stat. But I decided to go Thundurus Incarnate because I wanted more utility on our team. With Prankster, you can use Thunder Wave right away, and also Taunt if you figure your opponent's going to set up. You can stop Stealth Rocks from happening, that kind of stuff. And you also go with Thunderbolt isn't going to just bounce off opponents, so he does still have a pretty good special attack stat. And I believe his special attack's 125, correct me if I'm wrong, spreadsheet. It is 125. Huge special attack stat. And you can also go physical Thundurus because his second ability, Defiant, increases his attack stat by 2 stages if any other stat is dropped. So again, if we're looking at like Milotic, if we get intimidated with Thundurus, although we do drop a stage, we do go up by 2, so we are at +1. Defog's another one that'll increase our attack stat. So we could go Defiant with Skydrop, Defiant with Wild Charge, that kind of stuff. Knockoff. And as well as on his special side, he gets like Psychic, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Hidden Power Ice, any Hidden Power technically, but Hidden Power Ice is the more used one, I guess you could say. So Thundurus Incarnate, and I know my way around a Thundurus Incarnate. I've used Thundurus during Raikou, but not to as much success as I've used Thundurus Incarnate. So hopefully we can continue that success in this league. My next pick, I needed Stealth Rocks. I knew I needed Stealth Rocks, if not another entry hazard. And I decided to just wrap up Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin in one with, again, picking Armaldo. We picked Armaldo in the DBL draft, and honestly, it's one of my favorite Pokemon to use in that league. It doesn't get a ton of kills, but it helps get a lot of kills for other Pokemon because of the Stealth Rocks, and it also increases their longevity with getting rid of Stealth Rocks. Armaldo's very tanky, so it can take a lot of hits, which is really nice, and it can also deal the damage without having to invest in its attack stat at all, having a 125 base attack stat. Armaldo also has Battle Armor as an ability, so it can't be critted, which is very nice. You can rely on knowing what damage is going to be happening to Armaldo. And then it also has Swift Swim. I don't think we'll end up using Swift Swim, but it's always an option. Again, it's more of an option than Q-Charm is with Milotic, so Armaldo was our Stealth Rock setter. Now, the next pick, I was trying to decide. I knew I needed a Fire type, but I needed to decide what Fire type I wanted. I was thinking of Houndoom because it's got the Flash Fire ability, so it's completely immune to Fire type moves. And it was also Dark type, which resists Dark and Ghost for Cresselia. But Houndoom also isn't very bulky. So I decided to end up going with Magmortar, the evolution to our mascot, who doesn't really get a lot of love on this channel. And I figured, why not? We'll go with Magmortar. So Magmortar's stats are kind of subpar around, but that's why it was a lower pick. It does have a very good special attack stat, though, of 125, which does match Thundurus' special attack stat. Its speed isn't very good, though, at 83. And it does have a 95 attack stat if we wanted to go with Raikwin's favorite Belly Drum Magmortar. It also has like Mach Punch, Flare Blitz, Thunder Punch, all those crazy moves. So we could go with Physical Magmortar if we wanted to. Magmortar also has Flame Body, which is also really nice. We got the Intimidators, we got the Flame Body. We could go Will-Wisp Magmortar if we really wanted to be that guy, but we'll see. Vital Spirit's also pretty good. If there's opponents that have a lot of sleep-inducing Pokemon, we can have Vital Spirit Magmortar to stay awake while they're trying to put us to sleep. Our next pick, because we did have an S-tier Mega, we got to pick another Mega. We actually had to pick another Mega, but it had to be from the C ranking or the D ranking. Now, when I originally was going with Mega Mawile and Cresselia, I was thinking of picking up Mega Camerupt, and that would be our Fire Resist, and we could be going Trick Room for our Pokemon. But at this point, I didn't want to go just heavy Trick Room. I wanted to actually go like the complete opposite of Mawile, or as far from the opposite of Mawile as I could, because if I wasn't bringing Mawile, it's because they had a lot of counters to it, so I didn't want to be in a situation where I was like, Camerupt to Mawile, none of them are really good. So I decided to go with, instead of a slow bulky physical attacker, I went with a fast, kind of frail special attacker in Mega Sceptile, who was in the C Mega ranking. So we have our Mega Sceptile, although they kind of share the fire weakness, because before Sceptile Mega Evolves, it is just a Sceptile that's weak to fire, and even when it does Mega Evolve, it's only neutral to fire. I feel like Mega Sceptile is going to be that sleeper Mega that they'll be worried about Mega Mawile, and then Mega Sceptile will come to the battle and start ripping through things. That's what I'm hoping, at least. We also get the Lightning Rod ability, which will help Milotic out, so we don't have to rely on Landorus for the electric immunity. We'll have 2 electric immunities on the team. And it does have that high special attack stat of 145 with a speed stat to match, so I can see Sceptile being another key player to this draft. Next, I knew we needed that Ghost Dark type resist, so I picked up Scrafty. Uh, After I picked Scrafty, I wasn't entirely sure I wanted to keep him, but at this point, I think we will. We'll see how he works out. We may end up getting rid of him, but for right now, we're going to keep him. He is another Intimidate Pokemon. He also gets Shed Skin and Moxie as his other abilities, so he's got a lot of different ways to run him. We can, I don't know why Fake Out keeps coming to mind, probably because of VDC. I'm like, Fake Out Scrafty. Fake Out Scrafty probably isn't as great in this format, but it's always an option, I guess. We could go Assault Vest, we could go with Lumberry Dragon Dance, we could go Rest Shed Skin, all these crazy things that we could do with Scrafty, and I feel like he's going to be the one that I expect him to do not very much, but then he will end up doing a lot come league time. My next pick, at this point when I drafted Scrafty, everybody was talking about Mega Gardevoir. I can't remember who picked up Mega Gardevoir, but it was picked up earlier in the league, and I just like blanked it out. And I was like, I really don't have anything to stop Mega Gardevoir other than Mawile, and I don't want to just rely on Mawile, because again, what if the team calls for Mega Sceptile? Then I don't have my Mega Mawile. And especially after picking Scrafty, who's 4 times weak to Hyper Voice, I really need something to stop that, and I wouldn't mind having something for like Sylveon and stuff too. So my next pick, I like it, but I don't know that it was the best pick for our team, and it's Medicham. Now the reason I picked Medicham is because of its pure power ability. It brings its normally terrible attack stat of 60 up to 120 because it doubles the attack stat. And I've used Medicham to kill Mega Gardevoirs before. I've also used Mega Medicham to kill Sylveons and that kind of stuff. I at the time I didn't have the means to look up how much I need to invest to be able to knock out Sylveon in one hit. But with Poison Jab, you can knock out Mega Gardevoir, and you just need Choice Scarf to outspeed. I could also go Focus Sash. We could rely on the Thunder Waves or the Trick Rooms or Icy Winds of other Pokemon, and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like Medicham is a good backup pick because if we don't want to bring Scrafty, we still have a Fighting type we can use. If we don't want to bring Cresselia, we still have a Psychic type we can use. So I'm not mad that I picked up Medicham. I'd actually rather have picked up Medicham than Scrafty at this point, but we'll see what ends up happening. My next pick, I was gonna go Crocodile. Crocodile did end up getting picked up, and I wasn't entirely wanting Crocodile anyway, because that would have been another double pick. It would have been Dark type for Scrafty and Ground type for Landorus. But I did end up picking up a Pokemon that did have the same typing as Landorus, and that is Nidoking. We ended up picking Nidoking because he's very versatile. You can run him physical or special because of his ability Sheer Force, which increases the damage of moves that have a secondary effect and gets rid of that secondary effect. So moves like Poison Jab, Rock Slide, Fire Blast, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Earth Power, all of those great moves that deal a lot of damage already, Nidoking gets increased with its Sheer Force ability. Now, Nidoking also gets, what's the ability? Poison Point, but I don't think we'll end up using it because that's more of a defensive ability, and Nidoking doesn't really have that great of defenses. We'll see. He's not Nidoqueen, so Nidoqueen could probably take more advantage of that, but still, at that point, Sheer Force usually is better because you usually still have one attacking move that can take the advantage of Sheer Force. It also has Rivalry. I don't see us using that at all because Sheer Force is just better in every way. But yeah, we have a lot of different ways to run Nidoking, so I'm really glad we ended up getting him, and I'm surprised he made it that long, down to the second to last pick of the draft. And speaking of second to last, our final pick of the draft, I was trying to decide if I wanted like Staraptor for that ability for defog, so we don't have to rely on Rapid Spin. Also has Intimidate as well, so we can have another Intimidator. I was also looking at Haxorus, just to have a more stable Dragon type. We don't have to rely on Mega Sceptile. If we end up bringing Mega Mawile, then we wouldn't have a Dragon. So I'm like, let's get a dragon, but let's get a dragon that can also use Ice Beam because I don't want to rely on just Milotic. Although we did just, I guess Crest technically gets Ice Beam. Nidoking also has Ice Beam, and there's Ice Punch users, but I just wanted a stab Ice type Pokemon. So I picked up Kyurem, normal form Kyurem. Uh, and Kyurem, I'm really glad we picked up because I've used Kyurem maybe once or twice. I've never really used Kyurem a lot, so I'm really excited to get familiar with the Pokemon. It also has huge stats, as you can see there: 125 HP, 130 in both attack and special attack, 90 in both defense and special defense, and 95 speed. So Kyurem's another one of those ones that is pretty. He has a large move pool, kind of like Nidoking. It's not as diverse as Nidoking's is, but it's still pretty big. He gets like Earth Power, Iron Head. You can run Outrage or Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor, for that matter. A lot of different moves with Kyurem, and Kyurem's probably the one I'm most excited for in this league to try out. So that is our full draft of 12 Pokemon, and I'm really excited to have all of them on the team this year and see what I can do with them. Well, with that, we're going to skip over to the spreadsheet so you can see what's going on here. This is the spreadsheet for the Minnesota Wild charts. So you can see this is our schedule right here. We have week 1 is against the Talonflames. It's the Atlanta Talonflames. Is that right? No, that's not right. Yeah, it is the Atlanta Talonflames. It was the come on, stop doing that. It was the United at first, but now they're the Atlanta Talonflames. We also have the Clinks on week 2. The Seattle Star Raptors, which is coached by Gearhart. We were in our first draft format league we were in was with him. He was the Seattle Star Raptors then. We were the Minnesota Slackings at that point. Now Minnesota Wild Charge. We also have the Boston Silk Scarfs, Detroit Cabalions, is that Blackthorn Frogadiers, Kabutops. I'm not sure where they're from, but we do have a battle against the Kabutops. And then we have some rematches coming down into week 8, 9, and 10. So that is our 10-week schedule, and the first battle I believe is due on the 15th. It's whatever that Saturday is. So that Saturday is going to be the first match. There's also primetime matches, which will go up on Sundays. So all PGL matches, all the main ones will go, not the main ones, but all of the regular ones will go up on Saturdays, and then the primetime will go up on Sundays. So if you want to be watching for that with all of the people in the league, be sure to be watching on Saturdays for those. And of course, you can come to all the different teams' tabs here. I'm going to leave a link for the document in the description so you can check it out for yourself. But all the different teams have their links here. You can check out their YouTube channel, their Twitter, logo, I guess, friend code and in-game name. Friend code, in-game name, and logo are more for the other teams to take advantage of. But there's the free agencies and the trades. If we end up dropping and picking up Pokemon or trading Pokemon, they're going to be right there. You can see the logo. You can come up here, and this is where the draft is for all the Pokemon, and it'll show all the stats. Their knockouts, their deaths, game wins, suicides, and all that kind of stuff. So you can see all the stats of the Pokemon once they are starting to be used, and then you can see the base stats for all the Pokemon used and the averages. Well, this is their totals, and then there's the average along the bottom and the total average. So you see our average HP is 82, average attack is 101, 90 for defense, 93 special attack, 94 special defense, 84 speed, and 544 for base total stats or stat totals. So we have more attack than anything, and then everything else is pretty even. So I think we drafted fairly well in that regard. We'll see how it ends up turning out otherwise. Well, you can see along here we have like Sydney Seakings, I believe, is right here. And not everybody's filled out their stuff. Like, yeah, you can see their drafts. Although their drafts got automatically put onto the sheet, so and then some people have their logos, but otherwise they're responsible for filling out their sheets. So not everybody's is filled out here. I'm gonna see if we can find some familiar faces here. We have the. Is this one? No, it's the. Oh, yeah, this is the Seattle Star Raptors, so Gearhart's team. You can see here we have the Seattle Smeargles here, I believe, which isn't filled out, but that is Sketchy Smeargle. You guys may know him. I think we had a free for all on this channel with him. Maybe. Yeah, we did. That was the one where I used Primal Groudon. Uh, New York Clinks, which is our Week 2 match. There's also the New York Shelmets, which is stop bringing that up. Which is super gassy. So you can see his stuff here. We're gonna come over here. A few more tabs. I'll just point out. There's the draft, so you can see everybody's draft on one page, and you can see you have the tiers that each Pokemon were in. And then if you come down below that, I'm going to come to mine here. This is Minnesota Wild Charge right up here in front of the second row. If you can come down here, you can see that we had to meet all of these conditions. I did not have a contract, which you could have contracted a Pokemon at the beginning of the draft so nobody else could take it, but you do lose extra points when you contract a Pokemon. So I decided not to contract. And Pokemon I wanted to contract, I couldn't, because you couldn't contract Pokemon that were on a team the previous year, and I wanted to contract Milotic, but sorry about that. But somebody had already used it the year before, so we did meet our S rank. As you can see, we met all of our conditions. There's S rank, A rank, B, C, D, and then the Mega, and our C or lower Mega if we have an S rank. So that is the draft thing. We've got the standings over here, so you can see who's at the top of each division. We are in the Omega division, and we're at the bottom just because it's alphabetical, I think. No, wait, it's not. They just hate me, I guess. They put me at the bottom. But there's also the draft rules, if you guys want to come check this out. I kind of went over how they were. We had 500 points we could use after all of the guaranteed or all of the required picks were met. We had 500 points, and it was A rank is 125, B rank is 100, C is 75, and then D is 25. And you could pick less than 500 points if you wanted to, but you couldn't pick more. And it had to be 6 Pokemon for those 500 points. And then go to tiers. You can see which Pokemon were in which tier here, and the Pokemon that were drafted got crossed off. Azelf didn't get picked, huh? Also, Blissey and Chansey. I was the only poophead that picked Cresselia. There's also Breloom didn't, Bisharp didn't. It's surprising a lot of these Pokemon didn't get picked, but they just didn't fit with Pokemon, or didn't fit with people's drafts. Also, surprising to see Beautifly got picked, to be honest. I saw that happen. I'm like, okay. I mean, they obviously have an idea for it, so I'm excited to see what Beautifly is going to do in this league. I know Trubbish was actually high ranked last year. Well, he wasn't super high ranked, but he got 1 kill and only had 1 death, so he was higher up than a lot of Pokemon that just died all the time. So good for Trubbish. We'll see what Beautifly can do. I'm most excited for Beautifly in this league to see what happens. But you can see the full schedule on the schedule tab. And what else? Stop. And there's also, you can see Season 2, which we weren't in, but if you guys are interested, Blissey was in Season 2, surprisingly enough. Landorus Incarnate and Therian and everybody, you can see what team they're on and what points they got. Manaphy was number 1, so Manaphy was actually S tier because it was number 1 last year. It had 18 kills, 4 deaths. So we're going to have to watch out for Manaphy. I think a different team has it this year, so it might not be used as successfully, but it's Manaphy. It's going to do good. There's also the rules for the league, if you want to check them out here. And then the Pokemon data for Season 3 is already up as well. Everybody's got 0, obviously, so it's just going to go by teams. If we come down here, we can see our teams at the bottom. The Wild Charge with Armaldo, Cress, Landorus, Mawile, all those guys. So I think I've covered everything that I wanted to. Hopefully I can stop hovering over things. And we're just going to hop back. Actually, there's team stats here. So you can see all of the team stats, the averages for all of their stats. 101. I guess, why are they highlighted? Is that just their highest stat? Yeah, it's just their highest stat. Oh, wait, it can't be because they've got both theirs like this. Or do they have the highest stat out of everybody? That's what it is. So they have the highest stat in each of those. That's why that's highlighted. So we see the New York Shelmets have the highest HP. We're tied with the Boston Silk Scarfs for highest attack stat. New York Clinks have the highest defense. Staraptors have the highest special attack. Sea Kings have highest special offense and speed. So Sea Kings, we'll have to watch out for them. And then we have the tier references. You can just look up every Pokemon and you'll see the tier. And that's all the tabs. So guys, if you want to check that out for yourselves, be sure to click on the link in the description. Otherwise, we'll look forward to seeing you at the first battle of the year again against the Talonflames. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let me know what you think of our draft down in the description below, and we'll see you next time. See ya. Hello everyone, and thanks for checking out the video. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to click on the links on the screen. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos as they come to your way. And if you want to go check out the GoFundMe, that'd be great too. Bye!